Well, well, well. 2010 decade is now over, and now we're in a brand new decade. For animated films, they were really, really impressive, and as of this day, when we look back to the other 2010 animated films, they made the animation a lot more better and excitement. Even 3D animation's getting more upgrade, and there's some more stop motion anime feature that people starting to look back again, and hand drawn animation too. While others, well, they're those movies can be and go mixed to bad, especially with some of these kiddie anime films, where they're just trying to bring up the big stereotype that's saying that animation is just for kids and being way too cartoony. But back onto the movies, since we're getting to more movies on this new decade, let's take a look and see which anime movies are the best in this last decade. Keep in mind that these movies I pick are in my opinion, and if these movies I pick are, I mean, if any of these movies that you like are not on this list, then that's okay, as long as you're polite about it. So without further ado, let's take a look at the top 10 best anime films of the 2010 decade. Number 10. Frozen. Ah yes, this is the Disney movie that brought back their popularity after since the Lion King got a lot of money. But when this movie came out, it got a lot of money and a lot of praise, and it has the most overplayed song in the whole entire Disney song community. But aside from that, the movie itself is very, very fun and very memorable for a Disney movie. The animation is definitely wonderful. After seeing how Walt Disney himself wanted to make a Snow Queen movie, but when years later when they make it happen, it seemed that Walt Disney will be very proud of what they did. And let's get this one out of the way. The songs are very, very, very awesome. And they do feel like Disney songs. All of them are wonderful. Well, except for the Rock Trolls song. That one's just no. Even the animation is really great. Disney is getting a lot more better and better when they start making computer animated films since the middle of the 2000. Yeah, in the middle of 2000. And ever since like Tango came out and Wreck-It Ralph, it seems they get much more improvement with the character designs, the atmosphere, the lighting, and the way how the movie looks very good. Even the characters are very enjoyable too. Anna and Elsa are very good sister characters in this movie. You actually do feel these characters in the story. The way how they're separated for so many years and the way how they're trying to reunite together is very strong. Olaf is very annoying, but even though his first appearance, he can get a few funny laughs, and he's not that annoying. But ever since he started appearing in more projects, he's getting more annoying. Kristoff is a very good guy to be with on the side, and the way how he connected to the story, he actually is a good companion pal to hang around, including his reindeer Sven. And Hans, he's a very forgettable villain. It wouldn't better if the Duke of Weaseltown was the true villain. But we all know Hans is just a first guy who is part of Disney's addiction to twist villain. But aside from that, The Frozen is a really great movie. Is it better than Lion King? Definitely not. But this movie is a true comeback to what Disney is. It was a smash hit back then, and even though it's not today, we always know that Frozen will always be one of Disney's biggest hits in the 2010 decade. Number 9. Despicable Me. For Illumination's first movie, it's a good movie, although I think Despicable Me 2 is my favorite out of all the movies, but this one will always be the best one for everybody. This movie is very, very funny for the first Despicable Me movie. It's very funny with the slapstick, inventive, clever dialogue. But what makes this movie really good is the relationship between Gru and the girls, Margot, Edith, and Agnes. When these three girls got into Gru's life, and when he started getting used to them, gets the movie get really emotional. But not like tear jerking, but it does make you feel like it reminds you how much you interact with your family. And the concept itself about a bad guy had to take care of three orphan girls, and he's starting to like them and become a family man. It's very, very good. As for Illumination's mascot, the Minions, they are very funny in this movie, and to be fair, they are funny in the second one. But we all know they are really a real annoying, one of the most annoying characters in animation ever, and the kids won't stop talking about them even to this day. But they still are very hilarious. They do bring back the homage to the Three Stooges for funny slapstick. And the other characters are still great. Like again, Gru is a diabolical villain, but he does have a good soft spot whenever the girls are around him, and he still have his good evil personality. The three girls themselves are very cute, and they really are likable, and they don't get on Gru's skin, and even the audience skin as well. And the villain Vector, he is funny, but he is also very annoying. And even the animation is very good. For Illumination's first anime film, the character designs are really good, except for the Minions design because they're very standard. And for the background and the visuals, and even the special effects, they did a decent job at it. Overall, Despicable Me is an enjoyable movie. The characters are great, the humor is funny, very funny, the animation is good, and it's all in all a very enjoyable movie that I will watch over and over again. Number 8. Tangled. Well, what do you know? Disney's newest and first fairy tale film that's computer animated. Now, I heard a lot of people make some arguments between which two movie is better, Tangled or Frozen. Well, to me, despite the fact I put Frozen on number 10, I think Tangled is a much better fairy tale than than Frozen in the last decade. The plot itself is very creative for Disney, and it's one of the best fairy tale stories they ever wrote in their movies, and the characters are very memorable. And the voice acting fit the characters perfectly, even when the movie's comedy is not that bad. They give me a laugh here and there. The animation is very great for Disney's first computer animated film. When you look at it, it does bring you back the memories when you watch the 2D Disney Princess movies. And when you look at it in 3D, it does like they took them out of paper and make it impressive. The songs are great as well. I do give Alan Menken a pat on the back for making the songs memorable, funny, and enchanting. The characters are a lot of fun. Our main heroine Rapunzel is one of my favorite Disney princesses. She's kind, smart, and adventurous. Flynn is a funny guy, and Mother Gothel is one of my favorite villains. She is diabolical as Ursula, and the other characters in this movie are very fun and hilarious too. All the stuff I'd say does make me have more memories to watch than Frozen. If you guys like Frozen more than this, then that's okay. But to me, Tangled is one of the animated films of the 2010 decade that I always keep watching in the future. Number 7. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Well, what do you know? Sony Animation made a movie that's actually good. Although they made hit or miss and bad movies, this one is one of their hidden gems. First off, the animation is fantastic. One of the best I've ever seen in my life. They put in tons of variety in making it breathtaking. This is one of the best coming-of-age story I've ever heard. The way how Miles learned how to be the next Spider-Man is groundbreaking. To see how our main character go through with the help of the other Spider-Man characters from other dimensions. From swing around to save people, always get back up, facing dangerous foes, and also dealing with the struggle that you can't always save everybody. All the other Spider-Man heroes have great designs and great personality. And they are great friends to Miles, helping him to save his dimension and their dimension, and do it for the original Spider-Man he knows. The action in this movie is amazing, especially when it comes to the visuals. I really wish the movie could be in 3D, so it can bring back the popularity of 3D. They're creative, exciting, and fun for a Spider-Man movie. If you're a Spider-Man fan like me, and a Marvel fan, then this movie is definitely for you. And many people say this is the best Spider-Man movie, but to me, I think Spider-Man Homecoming is the best one. But this movie, it's a great movie too. It has great animation, great characters, and a good story. It has a lot of fun moments. I really enjoyed this movie. Good job, Sony. Good job. Number 6. Wreck-It Ralph. This is one of my favorite Disney movies, and everybody called it a Roger Rabbit video game style movie, and they're right. The story is very intriguing. The idea about a bad guy wanting to be a good guy so he can have the love and respect, while helping out a little outcast girl who wants to become a racer. What makes this story really great is the friendship between Ralph and Vanellope. When they start sharing their chemistry together, it's sweet, and you wanted to root these characters on what they wanted to do. And the film made a good execution about how you're not supposed to judge people on what they are messaging. The other characters are very fun to experience, such as Felix, Sergeant Calhoun, and a twist villain that is actually good. And the classic video game characters we all remember growing up is what also makes the movie so much more fun. Because whenever you see your favorite video game characters appear in the movie, it feels nostalgia, and you can spot all the memorable arcade games that appear in the movie too. And the animation is really good with the inspiration of all the video game art style they come up with. And when you see what the video game world looks like on the inside in 3D, it also looks great. This is one of Disney's most creative films they ever made outside of making fairy tales. The friendship is great, it's colorful, and it is a crossover movie that any gamer can watch. Number 5. The Peanuts Movie. Heh, just like Sony Animation, Blue Sky made some hidden gems, while other movies they made are just mediocre and bad. I'm looking at you, Ice Age. But anyway, this is Blue Sky's best movie they ever made so far. As a Peanuts fan myself, there's no denying they will screw up the imagination of Charles Schulz's characters and charm. Although the story is generic where Charlie Brown tries to become a winner so he can impress the new red-haired girl, they made it enjoyable, and all the characters are likable, and they still stick to their personalities from the comics and the TV specials and a little bit of the series. Even if Snoopy's subplot was pointless and it doesn't connect to the main plot, but it's tons of fun with its great animation and cool action. Speaking of Snoopy, all the reference to the comics and the TV specials are here, and they're still funny to this day. The two things I praised in this movie is the animation and the voice acting. The animation is really outstanding. Blue Sky managed to render the original hand-drawn animation from the 60s into 3D is perfect, and it makes it very relaxing. The voice acting is brilliant, because they were all voiced by actual kids. They did a great job voicing these characters, and the other cast, which contains a few adults who play the other characters, are good too. I'm glad they used a recording of Bill Melendez, who voiced Snoopy and Woodstock. This movie is definitely not for you as a Peanuts fan, but also for your kids. You let them watch the famous TV specials from Halloween to Christmas, and you should definitely let them watch this movie. This is one of the best family films I ever seen, and this is definitely my favorite Blue Sky animated movie. Number 4. Shaun the Sheep Movie. I feel like it's time to put this underrated movie on this list. I always wanted to see the Shaun the Sheep movie, and Aardman did a good job by making the story simple but fun. What I really like this movie is that the whole movie has no dialogue, just some sounds that the characters make, and the music. It's amazing how this movie has no dialogue for an hour-and-a-half movie for kids. After watching this movie, I started to get interested in watching silent film projects, and it's one of my favorite types of things in animation or in live action, where you don't need any dialogue, just see the characters' movements, the music, and visual storytelling. And speaking of music, the music in this is great too. Even when they put in some songs with lyrics into the film to help progress the plot, it's good. It's a good add-on. And that's all I have to say about Shaun the Sheep movie. It's a cute movie with its fun characters, funny humor, and a cute atmosphere. Number 3. Zootopia. Ever since this movie came out, people praised this movie for being one of Disney's best work they ever made for so many years. And they're right. Zootopia is an entertaining and serious movie that managed to tell a strong message about the dangers of racism and shows true colors how the world can't be safe. And it really has a good mystery for us to follow with. Top of all, with the characters that you immediately fall in love with them when they first appear. And the fact that they use animals to tell this message, how predators and prey live together in this huge city and how they behave around each other, is remarkable. Our two main characters are a very perfect team working together, from Judy Hopps for being a smart and hopeful character that learned that Zootopia may be a perfect hit, but the world can be dark, and she learns how to defend it and help animals to get out of there. To Nick Wilde from being a smart aleck, but he also had a soft spot inside of him. The animation is one of the most creative things I ever seen. When they show what the city looks like, with tons of variety, great animation, and inspiration of how the animals live in their own culture, and the design of the animals from the tallest giraffe to a small mouse look perfect. Everything in this movie has everything that I expected to see what the movie wanted to present. It's serious, it's charming, a great mystery story to solve, inventive animation. Zootopia is a great place where anybody can be anything. Number 2. Inside Out. Now, we all seen this idea before about the inside of the human brain and the mind. But when Pixar comes in and took this idea into a new movie, they make it 100% beautiful. The plot revolves around emotions living in this little girl's head who lives in a new city and a new life. The emotions have to go their best to make sure Riley still be Riley. When the movie gets its own 3 subplots, the main story with Joy and Sadness has to get back to headquarters to make Riley back the way she is. 2, anger, fear, and disgust try to help Riley be happy, while it also comes out to the outside world, where it shows Riley tries to fit into San Francisco. Those 3 subplots connected together make the writing seem understandable and good. For Riley, you can understand her struggling trying to fit in this new environment. And when they come back to the emotions, they try their best to make sure Riley can still be as what she is. Even though fear, anger, and disgust keep screwing things up. But with joy and sadness, Joy realized that sadness can be a good emotion who can help Riley express her other feelings. It's also very emotional when the characters are learning about who the other emotions can be very important to the person. Like it's saying it's okay to be sad and explain why you're feeling sad. It's okay to explain what's make you afraid. It's okay to be discussed about what you taste or what you see. It's okay to be angry at something. All of these feelings and emotions are very healthy for you. It's also one of the most creative things that Pixar have ever made in their career. Sure, we've seen the inside of a person's mind before, but they actually managed to make it new and exciting. Inside Out is one of the most best animated films that Pixar have ever created. With this great imagination with this animation, the story is very groundbreaking, emotional, and very funny. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. But you know what is the number 1 best animated film of the decade? Number 1, Toy Story 3. I'm sure some of you are shocked at this, or don't find it shocking. But I think this movie is the best so far in the 2010. When this movie asks the question, what will happen when a kid grows up and ready to move on to an adult life, what will the toys do now? Well, Pixar answered that question with this movie, and it completely blew me away. Now, I wasn't a kid growing up in the 90s, but I still remember growing up with Toy Story in the 2000s. And by the time when I watched this movie when I was 11, it gives me that answer, and I enjoyed it. When the toys get ready to start a new journey being donated to a daycare, the film gives a lot of things that have tons of fun. I have fun experiencing with the characters. I love the prison break scene. It gives tons of laugh. It has a lot of suspenseful moments, and good drama. And the ending is one of the best endings in movie history. And it does give a tear out of my eyes. It shows me that when you start growing up and becoming an adult, you will always have tons of memory when you're a kid, making friends, spending time with your family, and also playing with your toys, which is what this movie does. If you wanted to bring your toys with you or not, you can always still have fun memories with them, and they always be with you, no matter what. Although Toy Story 4 is a good epilogue film, and it doesn't need to exist, but I'm happy to see these characters to go on a journey for one last time. Toy Story 3 will always be the best conclusion of a film trilogy for those who have grown up with these movies in the 90s and the 2000s. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this countdown. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, and tell me what movie you think is the best in the previous decade. Put down your thoughts in the comments below, and join me next time when I do the top 10 worst animated film of the 2010 decade. See you later, my paisanos.